Good evening, and welcome to another episode of the G Spot.
It's the growth spot, baby.
Where you got to grow.
Or you got to go.
Thank you for joining us. We are here. I'm a little. Um, am I loud enough now? Okay. So I want to thank you guys again for joining us tonight. Tonight we have a man to man. So I guess this is Mr. Biggs gonna talk to Kels.
Yes.
Um, this Mr. Biggs, how you doing, Mr. Biggs? What the hell is going on?
You mean what's going on? Sing it, y'all.
So the men are going to talk to the men tonight. Last week, we the women talked to the women and just did a call to action and even some healing.
Yes.
And so tonight, the men are going to have some chest to chest conversation with each other. So the ladies are primarily going to listen as much as we can as the guys talk to each other, I think. And the reason, again, for this is that we found that there are just certain things that men take better from men and women take better from women. And so, just based off our experience and observations, we thought that we would do you guys an injustice if we didn't have these conversations with, the woman to woman and man to man. So, we're gonna dive on into it. We got
Well, hold on. Before we get into that, I want to do this a segment we call 5 minutes of frustration. I just want to touch on the Kirk Franklin situation real quick. First of all, we understand it's a private matter because I know that's the most common response is family business, is their business, but we can't miss the opportunity for a teachable moment. I'm not going to choose sides. I'm not going to side with the son. I'm not going to side with Kirk, but I will say that they both played a role in the elevation of their conflict, and they both have to play a role in the resolution to their conflict. So there is no innocent party in this entire scenario because they do have a 33-year history. That young man is 33 years old. The one thing I just wanted us to kind of, if we had to pay attention to it, is just kind of remorse that we have another father-son broken relationship in the black community. That's what stood out most to me. I know a lot of people want to focus on the fact that this young man betrayed the trust of Kirk Franklin and recorded their conversation, and everybody want to jump on him for that. But my thing is right or wrong, he didn't do that just out of the blue. Like there's a cause for everything. Whether you agree or disagree with that cause, that's not my issue. My issue is that the last thing we need is another young black male growing up without any guidance because he's detached from what is supposed to be his primary source of manhood curriculum, which is his father. So that's what stood out most for me. I'm not choosing sides in this battle because to me there is no good side. They both are hurting.
Yeah.
So that's just what I wanted to say about the Kirk Franklin situation.
You got 5 minutes?
All right.
anybody else?
Nah, I don't really.
I
have
keep
anything to say
5
about
minutes.
it.
So since we 5 minutes and my 5 minutes of frustration is Derek Jackson.
Come on.
And
Hold on. Explain to people who Derek Jackson is because
Okay.
everybody might not know.
Derek Jackson is supposed
Explain
to
the
be a
situation.
relationship guru. I'm quite sure some of us heard him speak on social media platforms, and he had all the answers to every problem associated with a relationship. Now, I can say some things, but what I'm going to say is, and this is my thing, we got to learn how to look at things for being different, not right or wrong. Right or wrong to me really doesn't exist. That's just me. It's different, and the thing that's glaring about that situation is he put so much time, effort, and thought into the things that he would project in regards to relationships. And for him to do what was contrary to what was in the best interest of his relationship, because regardless of what we do, cheating is never the answer. That doesn't solve problems in a relationship. That just complicates it. So his explanation, I'll let y'all look at that for yourself. But again, and that's part of us man to man and rebuilding one another is we have to stand on solid ground. We
Yeah.
have to accept the mistakes that we make. Don't justify them. Don't try to give a reason on why it happened, except that we made a bad decision and grow from it.
Yeah.
So that's my 5 minutes of frustration.
Stennett, you got anything you want to get off your
No, I
chest?
want to go ahead and get into this. 'cause I
Okay,
got some cold
okay.
chills going on.
Okay,
Yeah.
Barry. I hear you, Barry. Go
Listen,
ahead.
people, hold on. For my people, if you tune in, go to YouTube, Disco 100 Radio. This is going to be a powerful conversation. Black men holding each other accountable. You don't want to miss it.
All right.
All right. So I don't know if we said to well, who was gonna go first?
I'll go ahead.
Sten Dog.
You want to go ahead and take that?
Then it's
Stand
Stan.
All right.
Sten Dog.
Brothers to brothers.
Yes.
Let's have this talk.
All right. I'm gonna turn my mic off, y'all.
All right. Now you keep your mic on, sweetie. But let's start with first we need to understand that, you know, you gotta have some kind of relationship with the spiritual level. Regardless whether it's you believe in God, Buddha, whoever, you gotta have some kind of spiritual to you in order for you to get through this life and develop these relationships. So I would tell any young man out there, any man, period, is to lose its selfishness. Stop being selfish. So gotta understand a relationship is bonding with somebody. And if you're bonding with somebody, you gotta have the right intents. So if your intentions aren't right, leave that person alone. Don't go into a relationship with ulterior motives. Be selfless with her. Selfless with her. Make plans for her. Make plans for, with her. Short-term goals. Set short-term goals that's basically achievable in the short term. Then you move to the long-term goals with her. Something I would tell you. Be different. Be different with her. If she's been through certain things in life, don't try and take her back through those types of things that she's not been through. Sacrifice for your relationship. If you sacrificing for your relationship, those dates that you go on with her, sacrifice for it. Those are bonding moments. Those are time for you and her to get away from the world and y'all two be together. Keep a smile on the face, of course. You know, laughing with her, joking with her, having a great time. That's the purpose of you being in a relationship with her. You know, it's not so you could just be, oh, I'm in a relationship. No, you gotta take time with her. When she comes home, realize that she's coming from the world also. So we have to be able to she's gonna tell you what it is that's necessary to bring her out of her world. Rub her feet, give her a massage sometimes, you know.
Yes. Come on, Messiah.
Get to her. You know, she's gonna tell you these things. And if these things are what she's telling you, by all means, if you want it, go ahead and do it. Those types of things you need to do. Don't be afraid to pamper your woman. Because if you're afraid to pamper your woman, another man is gonna pamper her for you. Understand that. That brings me to another point.
You better speak it.
That brings me to
Can you
to
repeat
my
that
next
for the
one.
people in the back? That last comment about if you don't.
If you don't pamper your woman, another man will pamper your woman
Hallelujah.
for you. Well, not necessarily for you, but he will pamper your woman.
Yeah.
That's after she done left and broke up, right?
I was about
Well,
to say,
guess what? She don't necessarily have to break up with you to get pampered. Guess what? There's always a term called Jody out here.
Oh.
So guess what? While he jumping over the gate, you coming through the front door. I mean, she doesn't necessarily have to break up with you to do those things.
it's also a term called pack your stuff.
Listen,
I wanted to
that's-
use the other word, but
you know, if it gets to that point, if it gets
Jody
to that
better have a
point,
guest room.
hey, if it gets to that point.
Jody better have a guest room.
But don't leave that. Listen, don't leave that door open
Right. We understand what
for
you're saying.
another man
I got you.
to come through that door.
I
because
got you. Real
it's
talk.
vice versa. Because if the woman leaves the door open, another woman will walk through it.
That's
So you have to understand that.
No,
What do you mean, no?
no.
No? Come on.
The ginger ale kicked in.
I just wanted what
Go ahead.
what just go and give the people a little example of what pampering may be.
Oh, she wanted a massage. Okay.
Right here in my neck. Okay.
All right. Hold on. Hey, y'all stuck on
didn't-
that pampering point.
He didn't do it right.
He didn't do it right.
listen.
He didn't do it right.
Better call Jody.
Yeah, Jody's gonna come through the back door and massage you, right?
You're
All right.
right.
Well, yeah, that brings me into the next point when I'm talking about you got to know your woman. Be honest with her.
Preach, boy, preach.
Be honest with her.
Oh,
if
here we
she's
go.
been into a relationship or her past relationships was where she's with a guy that was lying to her, cheating on her, dogging her out, why would you go and do the same thing if you think that relationship is going to be something?
I agree.
You know, you got to understand. I had to come to the realization that don't be afraid to lose her by telling her the truth.
I agree with
The truth about.
Anything.
Okay, just clarify for the people.
Listen, anything that you got that you're in a situation that you feel like you got to be dishonest,
Talk to the
just
people.
go ahead and be honest with her.
Yes.
Because you can lose her with dishonesty, and trust is very fragile.
Yeah.
So, and if the trust is very fragile, it's going to take you some time to try and rebuild that trust. Time, effort, energy is going to be put into that when y'all could be doing something else. Just go ahead and tell her the truth, get it out the way. If she's a grown woman, she's going to deal with things in a grown woman term.
That's right.
Get rid of your expectations, brothers. Get rid of expectations.
Oh, explain that. Explain that.
Tell us what that
Please
looks like.
explain that.
People change. So if you believe that you're going inside of a relationship and that person is always going to remain the same, you are going to fail. Because they're going to change, you're going to change.
That's right.
You have to be fluid in your relationship with your woman.
Yeah.
Because it fluctuates. Power dynamics fluctuate. But to always understand that a woman's power comes through her man. You understand? So the man has to be in that leadership capability to come to his woman for the advice. You understand? Because we can take advice from the wrong people. That goes to my next issue. Stop talking to your family and your friends about your relationship problems.
I agree.
Because some of y'all, the relationship problems that occurs, some family and friends don't want you to be happy.
Okay, hold on.
Facts.
Okay, hold on. Permission to speak.
Go ahead, brother.
So if you're not talking to family and you're not talking to friends, who are you talking to?
You talking to your woman. Talk to your woman. Your problem isn't with your family and your friends. Your problem is with your woman. So if you having a problem with your mama can't tell you how to deal with your woman.
That is true.
That's a totally different individual.
Okay, hold on.
This advice doesn't apply to you.
Okay, because this is what I first of all, you're doing spectacular. I feel like we got a new standard. I just want to put that on the table.
Oh,
Right.
Here we go. Come
But
on.
I
what
agree
the-
with Stanton
the
on
side
this.
point?
I do agree with Stanton.
I don't. No,
I
you
do
don't.
agree
No,
with
you
him
don't.
on
Because
that.
we all know that there are times where conversations can be so contentious that it's not a suitable time to talk with your woman. It's not a suitable time to talk with. I'm sorry, that's
We
work
gonna-
calling. I'm
get it
sorry.
together.
Let me cut that off, y'all. My apologies. The school counselor's work is never done.
Yeah, I agree. Sometimes, well, I was just trying to let you.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I was
My
trying to
apologies.
tag team for you.
There are times where you just can't, like, you guys are not in a good space.
That's true.
Mhm.
And you won't be able to communicate effectively, but you still need to communicate. You still need to strategize. You still need to brainstorm. So, who in your circle is qualified for you to do that
Let
with?
me explain something to you.
Well, what if if I don't talk to somebody, I'm gonna blow
Pop
this nigga
off,
head
blow,
off.
blow his head off.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So we
So
ain't
who
gonna
they
have,
talk
we
to?
not gonna have a conversation.
There's a thing called separation. If you're not adult enough to have that conversation after, they say don't talk or communicate when the fire is hot.
Right.
Wait till the fire goes down.
Right.
Somebody has to be the man or the woman enough to be able to leave that situation and come back to it.
Right. But rationally speaking or even thinking,
Mhm.
sometimes situations or the person needs to talk to someone right now,
Mhm.
and it's not their significant other. Um, sometimes, I think that there's just a real negative connotation with believing that anytime a person is speaking to a family member or a friend, it's just this dogging, or that the opposite, person, the family member or the friend is, you know, saying, oh, you need to leave him or you need to leave her. Everybody doesn't give out that type of advice. My first thing with my friends is let's pray, and
Talk.
then I, sometimes they're wrong. So it's like, I had a friend, recently that said, you always take my husband's side, you know.
Mhm.
So everybody's not just giving out leave your man advice, and I mean, I think that sometimes you do. I mean, it's the same thing as you talking to a therapist.
That's right.
If you need to talk to somebody and this is a rational person, I mean, you
Right.
definitely need to pick and choose who you're talking to, very, very carefully. You need to kind of know what their intent is, but I don't think that is necessarily a bad thing.
I have a bad habit of that.
Me too.
Run into my friends. Uh, sorry. Oh, yeah. I have a bad habit of that. I'm guilty. I've had people to tell me like stop running and telling your business to your friends and your family, and I'm like, well, I'm like you guys. I'm like you guys. I'm like, well, who should I talk to? I want to talk to somebody. It's like you guys said. Sometimes the you're in a heated moment. You don't want to mess around and say something that you will regret. So of course I'm gonna run to my friends. Not all of them, but I might have a few that I feel comfortable enough to go and talk to.
Right.
But you have some people say don't do that. So I'm like, well, who should I go talk to? And they're like, well, talk to God. And I'm like, okay, but
Yeah, that's
I
that's too
need
churchy.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah.
Because you
And
just
it's
yeah.
understandable.
Listen.
Yeah.
So I'm
and
guilty.
and
Listen.
and I think that I'm sorry,
Go ahead.
but I think that the most um rational thing to do would be to discuss that on the front end with your spouse. Like when we have conflict, when we have issues, or I feel like I need to talk to somebody and
Right.
I can't talk to you.
Mm-hmm.
Who do
Who do
you
I
prefer me
prefer
to
to go
talk
to?
to? And if you, because for me, I don't have a problem with, my significant other
Mhm.
talking to his family or his
Okay.
friends.
I know I'm guilty. That's why when
Yeah.
he said, I'm like, whoo.
Go
Yeah.
ahead.
It's a
I
case
got
by case.
one more.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Senator.
I'm sorry.
Stop grandstanding
What's that?
for other people.
And explain that to the people.
I want to explain that.
Senator,
To
you have your own dictionary.
you.
Yeah, the book of Stan.
What was
So-
the last one?
Orbiters.
Stendhal.
To understand that. Stop grandstanding. So
Define.
grandstanding, grandiose behavior. If you don't have it, you don't have it. You don't need to be out there in the public eye trying to make it seem like you got it and you don't got it. You understand? So stop grandstanding.
Mm.
The only person approval that you need inside of your relationship, is your woman.
Mm,
In your relationship. Understand the word in.
mm.
So everybody else that's on the outside looking in, you don't need to be grandstanding for.
I never heard of that word.
You never heard that word? Taught you something new tonight,
You
huh?
sure did.
No, she has a different.
You wanted to respond
Go
to
ahead.
something he said earlier. I saw you had your hand raised.
Yeah. I mean, in regards to family and friends, sometimes we do get in these heated conversations and we feel the need to talk to someone, but we really don't have to. All we have to do is be patient. Be patient. Like, relax, back out of the moment. Understand that you love this person love you back. So you guys just not seeing something the same. It is detrimental to go to friends and family because family, when they truly love you, they're gonna try to defend you.
Have your business.
So they may justify, and I don't care how rational we think we are, we always tell our version of the story. Because again, there's some variables attached with the other person and why they're in that mental capacity to have the position or stand on the position they standing on, and we don't know that. So we can't discuss that with somebody else because we're unaware of it. That's why we bumping heads, because if they were in a great mind space, we wouldn't be bumping heads.
But see what happens in that instance is you're taking all your business to your family and your friends, and what's gonna happen is the family and the friends ain't gonna like you
Well,
because you
that-
don't put all your business out there to your family and your friends about what your old lady doing. They're gonna hate your old lady.
but that's why I'm saying
But are we
the
doing
answer.
things that probably is
Right.
warranting to be
Right.
for you to be hated?
Yeah,
you know,
because
because
if it's,
I'm
if
just
it's not that, yeah. I don't want to say big of a deal because at the moment, if you're speaking about it, it's a big of a deal. But if it's not something as far as this man or this man putting his hands on this woman, anything that's like, that will be non-negotiables or deal breakers,
Right.
then I mean, I think that person should be mature enough to understand that, okay, people do go through things. Couples, they do go through things. So anything that's not like, in a sense, as far as like the non-negotiables, I don't think that will make that individual look or hate their spouse, that person's spouse.
Correct. I agree with that. Go
yeah,
ahead.
for me, if I were to, date a guy that is telling me that he doesn't want me to talk to my friends and family when we have issues, me personally, I'm gonna throw you the peace sign because to me, you're setting me up to be in an abusive relationship.
I was about to say that.
You know,
That's a sign of controlling.
that's a sign
Yeah.
of being controlling.
Controlled, yeah.
We have
Everything
a
that goes
comment,
in
too.
your house is not your family's business.
Yeah.
That
I
could
agree.
Nobody
be
said-
true.
Agree.
That
Nobody
could,
said
that could
tell
be
everything.
Not right.
true. Right.
We
right.
have a comment that they're agreeing. They're saying keep them out of your business because
Yeah.
they tend to hold on to grudges when we've let it go.
Right.
So,
Most people do that.
yeah,
Most
that's
most
what they're
people have
saying.
that mindset, and I
Mhm.
think that most people
Right.
don't realize that trait is it could be controlled. Like if just like quickly,
Mhm.
do you guys realize that giving your spouse the silent treatment is abusive?
Absolutely.
I
I've
do
been through
agree.
that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of
Mhm.
things that
Yeah,
we're
I
not
agree.
aware of that we're
Mhm.
doing that's
Right.
abusive.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and forbidding
can't
somebody to
stand it.
have a conversation with someone outside the home,
Right.
that could be a red flag in the beginning to some other things going on. But
That's true.
yeah, I'm getting up out of there. If you tell me that,
Yeah.
Right,
we done.
Right. I don't think people have a problem with you talking to family and friends. The problem is it's usually the wrong family
Right.
and
That
friends.
might be the
Because
issue.
truth
Right.
be told, this whole concept of, and I understand the sentiment, but what concerns me is when certain things that's just not realistic. Everybody needs an outlet,
Mhm.
especially in a relationship. If you stay in it long enough, you're going to need an outlet, and your spouse is not going to be it because sometimes they're the problem. And you won't always have the proper environment to have a conversation with your mate because it has gotten too emotional, contentious, and combative. And you have to know when to cut it off, but you still might need an outlet.
That's true.
Now, that's something, and we had this conversation on
So,
Miami to Atlanta. I prescribe as you go through the courtship, dating process, whatever you want to call it, you need to have qualified people identified prior. Because if you don't, then you need to examine your circle because you should be able to confide in at least one person. And they say, well, how do you know who that person is? The person that wants your relationship to be successful. People who want you to be happy and in a healthy relationship, they're not going to sabotage you by giving you bad advice when you're vulnerable, being
Right.
emotional.
right,
They're just not going to do that.
right.
And I've had both. I had a friend of mine who I noticed the advice he was giving me was the advice he wasn't taking. He was telling me, man, you in Atlanta, you got women. You ain't got to put up with that. It's 10-1. I heard it's 10-1.
But he
Yeah.
putting up with mess.
But then I turn around, his girl done threw his phone out the window and done kicked in his door, and he said, "Yeah, man, we working it out." What?
Right.
My girl just hung up on me and you told me to leave.
That's
But your girl done went straight ham on you and y'all working it out. Now I'm single. 'Cause my
Right.
dumb behind done went out there and tried to get my 10-1.
Right.
And he was just satisfied with his one.
Right.
So in the
Right.
long one, once I matured, I said, okay, yeah, bro, man, I can't talk to him anymore. But then I had another friend who was like, hey, man, did y'all work it out? Did y'all talk?
Right.
Did you pray about it? You know, did you tell her how you feel?
Right.
You know, he gave me that type of advice. That brother, he good on that.
Right.
Yeah, because how is it that you want me to tell them that you paying the bills and you handling your business as a man and you gave me a foot massage, when I fell down the other day, and you want me to tell them all these great things about you, but then when there's a problem, I'm not supposed to. So I mean,
Right.
that's not healthy to
And
me.
Joseph said family only I guess he's trying to say hold grudges when your partner is really doing some messed up things like being
Correct.
abusive, cheating, and you go back to the same treatment.
Right.
One time,
right.
JoJo, one time.
All right. Listen. I get what y'all saying, but again,
You know good.
it's patience. Like running to family or friends, that's a no.
The
Like,
wrong
the
family
wrong.
and friends.
Okay, y'all call it wrong, y'all call it right. I'm just saying, when you have a problem with a person and you can't resolve it in that problem, it's okay to keep your mouth shut, walk away, give some more thought to what's going on, and then come back and address it. You do not have to run to family and friends. And if I'm in a relationship and you keep running to family and friends, I'm gonna tell you be with your family and friends.
Okay,
What
let me
if
ask
the
you this
person
question.
needs
Go ahead.
advice?
I was about to
you're
say, who do
saying-
you go to for guidance?
So
Yeah.
so
What if they needed guidance?
So what happens, and this is my thought process. When you go to somebody and you ask them for advice, right? 9 times out of 10, they tell you what you already know. This my walk, my path. 9 times out of 10, when you go to family for advice, they tell you what you already know. And all they doing is co-signing what you know you should implement. And now you feel good about somebody saying what you already know.
Okay.
But if you had been a little listen, this
No, I got you. No, go
my
ahead. I
walk.
got you. Go ahead.
If you had been a little patient, gave what the problem was some thought, let that person clear their mind. And I ain't saying days. This don't take days. Sometimes take 30 minutes or so.
Some
Just
people
to
take
walk
that.
away from the position, consider what the other person's saying,
Okay.
come back, and come to a resolution that works for the best
But
for both of you.
we have a comment by Love and Loyalty 68. Says when family and friends know all your business, they stay on the negative when the two people that's in a relationship are back in a good place.
Again, that's the wrong
wrong
family and friends. But see, let me just say this in
Let's
response to
just
what
say
he
that,
said.
I mean, if that's how they operate, they could just be dysfunctional.
But-
I mean,
but-
let's just say that.
But what he just described for me is the problem with a lot of black men in general is that they don't have anybody with their level of wisdom that they respect. Because
think that's
if
what it
you
is.
did, because all the people I'm connected to, if they know the same thing as I do, then my circle is too limited.
Right.
Somebody has to be able to elevate the class. There has to be a teacher in the room.
That's true.
And so my thing is I'm connected with some brothers that's older than me that have been married for 30 plus years. You got to have somebody like that in their corner. And one of the problems is for a lot of black men, maybe because of our relationship with our father, not having whatever, we're not accustomed to taking advice from an elder.
That's true.
And without an elder, because your level of wisdom is only germane to your experience. And you only got experience based on the number of years and what you went through in those years on this earth. You need somebody that has something above you that you could connect with, that could give you something you don't have.
I agree with that.
That we all need that.
Yeah.
Well,
All right.
LaRon
Yeah,
says that many
yeah,
people
listen.
here have communication problems, and in those situations, a good unbiased.
That's
Mediator.
right, exactly.
That's a real good thing. I wouldn't have thought about is bringing in a mediator,
Yeah.
Yeah.
somebody outside, even if it's outside your family.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
That's
Yes.
friend.
Tell me when I jump in.
That's
No,
a neighbor.
Yeah, this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but you can't say okay, it's okay to get a mediator, because then that goes back to you being controlling.
Mhm.
It's okay for us to have a mediator, but then no, it can't be your family,
Right.
it can't be your friend, and then you have some men. It's like, okay, we can go to counseling, but I ain't talking to no man, or I
Right.
ain't talking to no woman. Like, we have to start calling things out as though they are. We are operating in very dysfunctional mindsets.
Mhm.
We have to just stop playing and point these things out, because as long as we stay in this space to where, well, this is just how I am, how do you
Yeah.
grow with
You
that's
don't
just how
grow.
you are?
You won't
Mhm.
grow.
You know that we most of us, especially in the African American community, we are operating out of high levels of dysfunction.
Mhm.
But I'm
Yes.
sorry, but I think it's on you.
Oh, it's on me
It's
now?
on you.
You-
Okay.
We done-
Listen,
we
listen,
done
listen, listen, man. Listen, man. Listen, I'm brought up different. Like, I try to get people to understand that I see things different. Like, before I start off, I was on a phone call with a family member of mine, and they had been watching the show. And she reminded me that she has been with her husband since 1975. And I remember it. I remember it, right? I
Mhm.
remember how long, because when she called his name, I'm like, man, she's still with him. Like, and she say she watched the show. And she say some of the stuff we talking on, it don't apply.
Mhm.
That's 4 to 6 years. So I don't care what's in the book. I don't care what's in the study. I don't care what's in the thought process. It's just some things we got to touch. So with that being said, my first thing to me is we got to understand that we broke. We broken. Now, I know some of us, we got a bunch of girls and we kind of getting a little money and we situate, we got our own house, credit, good, car, whatever. Our kids in a great situation, this, that. That don't mean you're not broke. And that's the space we're working from, a broken space we have yet to heal. So the first thing we have to do as men is identify what broke us.
Come on, talk to me, brother.
We got to clear that up. We got to clean that slate. We got to figure out what broke us, how we got to that broken space, and how to get out of that broken space and never operate within that within those broken confines. That's the first thing we got to do. Now, after we accept that we are broken, figure out what broke us, and clean that space, the next thing we got to do, if we want to get with a woman, we have to commit, man. Like, we're afraid of committing. I'm in love with you. I'm going to pay the bills. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. But we keep that little thing on tuck. We keep one or two of them on tuck. Just go, she tripping. I come home tonight, you tell, oh, don't worry about it. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to get off early. I know what I'm doing. We do that, and we can't work from that space because we hate when a woman works from that space.
Yeah.
We hate it. We call them a garden tool. But we garden tools too. And we got to accept that. That's what we are. I mean, straight up and down, there's no difference between you doing it and me doing it. It's just society accepts it more.
For men, right?
That's
They accept it more. It's more acceptable. We looked up upon when we have more women, and women, when y'all have more men, you look down upon.
because you're trying to feed the ego.
That's what society has created.
Brokenness.
So we
Yes,
have
we
to,
need
and in order to commit, we got to understand that we broke. We got to fix how we got broke, and then we got to move from a clean slate. Now, understand fixing how you got broke. When you break a glass, it's fractured. It's a bunch of fractures. The only way you bring that glass back to new is if you replace it. So we can't replace ourselves. So when we break and there's another line going that glass, we're gonna break again in another line, and break again, another line. Now we can put some adhesive to stop those breaks from breaking again, but we'll never come back whole. So all these people who be saying like, "Oh, I spent enough time on myself, I'm ready for," listen, man, you still broke, because the first inclining that what broke you the first time rears its ugly head, you're gonna go back into that space.
Not
No,
true.
that just means that you weren't healed.
Listen,
Yeah, that
listen,
means that you didn't heal.
listen.
Yeah,
This is my
yeah.
opinion. And listen, I need y'all to really understand what I'm saying, man. I need you to
Talk
really-
about
Friendly
Talk.
I done
exchange.
listen.
Friendly exchange.
I done dealt with way more. Listen, I done forgot more people than I know when it come to women. I have. I forgot. Like, you don't remember me? I'm like, nah. I don't remember the name. I don't remember nothing, but I know I did something.
Right.
This is what I'm telling you. So I'm talking just my path. It's not my path. This is my path. So once we understand that, how we repair ourselves, which will never be whole again, no matter what you think, you'll never be whole again. That's just like when you're a virgin, you'll never be a virgin again. They got surgeries virgin-like, but that's not virgin. So once you lose it, it's gone. So now, once we decide to commit, 100% commit.
I don't agree.
What happened?
I got a question.
That's just
for
my
you.
opinion.
No,
You
no,
don't
no.
have to
I
agree
want you to
with
expand on your opinion because after this show, we do the
Critique.
critiques. The first thing people ask is, they wanted us to go more in depth into the solution. So you said, well, after you did a great job describing all this brokenness, the glass, the adhesive, all that stuff, the duct tape. What specific process do you go through? What do you do specifically? What did you do since you're telling your story to heal yourself? What did you do specifically?
Okay, so
Right.
me specifically, I know I was broke. That's why I could never give a woman all of me. I was afraid to because I know how I hurt others. Right?
Okay.
So, in order for me to be a better person, I had to accept the hurt that I caused.
Okay.
I couldn't keep making the reasons on why I cheated on this person,
Okay.
or why I slept with this person, or why I didn't give this woman who tried her best all of me. Well, I had to accept it wasn't them, it was me. It was
Okay.
me dealing with some things, and it wasn't until I identified with all those things,
Okay.
made up in my mind that I was going to correct those things that prevented me from doing what I needed to do. I never got back whole, but I was able to give the next person a better, fair shot.
So you would say just by you accepting and recognizing that you were broken, that's how you heal. Like that's how you.
That's how I begin to heal because
Okay.
what
Awareness.
happens is this.
So we're talking
Exactly.
about awareness.
What
okay.
happens every time we do something, we make it y'all fault. Every time we cheat, it ain't never our fault.
No, it's definitely.
It's never our
I
fault.
would agree.
It's always your fault. Oh, you ain't wash my clothes and
Yeah,
you made me
yeah.
sit down there and wash them clothes, or I was hungry, you ain't bring me back no piece of her, or you weren't talking to me. I ain't know what you would think about. Or, you going through something, you keep telling me no, when we lay down, not understanding your body changing, and it's just, we not understand that. We
Right.
made
Not satisfied.
every time we do
Right.
something, it was y'all fault.
Right.
And we got to cut that out. We know doggone well it's not their
I
fault all the
agree.
time.
Yeah,
It's not.
accountability.
It's
Yeah,
not.
Okay.
accountability.
So
you-
that's how I began to heal me.
Okay.
Okay.
Because I've been able to identify with some of the things that women go through that made me a little more understanding, a little more compassionate, a little more reasonable with my solutions.
How did you get to that self-realization?
Yeah, that's because I hear they say the acknowledgement is the first step.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got
I was
that
gonna
first
say
step.
That
So,
first.
so where did you go from there?
To be honest, I hate to say this.
Nah, break it down. I'm telling my
You went to go
story.
talk to
so
God.
Tell your story. Let's
Tell
go.
Hey, he had to
All
go to
right.
talk to God.
First, it was a person that, I know how I did them, and I saw the downward path they took after me. I mean, gratefully, they rebounded and are better people now. You get what I'm
Oh,
saying?
so
But
you
I
had
know
empathy.
that I prolonged their healing process. Had I been the man I am today, and I met them, they wouldn't have went through most of the stuff. And her and I talked about it. They wouldn't have went through a lot of that stuff that they went through had I just been the man who I was today.
Okay.
So that kind of like rubbed
Still
me
on
a certain
awareness.
way.
Still on awareness.
Right.
The next thing that made me understand, to be honest, is divorce. Because now you play back all those scenarios in your head when, she complained about this and said that and this and that. And that whole tug of war, that's why I'm telling you my path with patience. Had I been patient, instead of diving into those conversations, instead of going, and my family or friends didn't betray me, but that was just one less conversation that I could have had and used that energy to have a necessary conversation with the person I was having a problem with and came to a resolution. That's me. That's how I see things, right? Like, for example, I don't believe in mentors. I hate when a man say he got a mentor, but that's another story. But
You don't
I
believe
go
in
to
nothing.
myself and I give myself,
I don't
a
believe you believe
self-check.
that. I don't believe you believe that.
I do. I'm serious, but we'll talk about that later.
Okay,
But I give myself
I'm
a
still not
self-check.
hearing the process.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
what-
Right,
still
we
not
need
hearing
the
the
process.
The only thing,
No, you're
everything you
telling-
describe
we
is
really-
awareness.
Yes.
Okay.
Everything,
Being
everything.
So
is awareness.
that's my process.
That's the first
when
step.
that's your first step. My first step, I'm gonna tell you, when I became aware of the things that I was doing, all I had to do is make a conscious decision to do it different. That's it. I didn't need nobody to tell me that.
No.
I knew that because I did
didn't say
this,
that.
and this was the result. But had I done this, I would have got a different result. So when I became aware of what I was doing, I just made a conscious choice to do it different.
And so, what did you do? That's what we're asking you. You said you because what
Okay,
you
so I'm gonna give you an
described so
example. I'm gonna give you an example. When I stepped out on a woman,
Mhm.
I found a reason to do it based on what she did.
Mhm.
I was wrong.
we got
I
that.
made a conscious decision to address whatever it is I was feeling to prevent me from having that desire to step out of the relationship. That's my process.
The people
I
want
guess what he's
You
trying
keep
to
saying the
say.
people want somebody getting what I'm
I
saying.
guess
Y'all
what-
ain't
I
getting
guess
it.
what he's trying
But
to
Listen, I
say.
somebody
understand
getting what I'm saying.
I
Trust
guess
me, I
what he's
understand.
trying to say.
I don't think
Exactly.
that's-
What? Yeah,
He just went
decided
cold
to make
turkey.
a
That's what you're trying to say. He went
different-
cold turkey.
A different decision,
And that's
different
me.
choice.
Like that's what my
That's what you
grandmother instilled in me. Son, you are responsible for everything that going on with your life.
That's true.
Make the right decision. That's
Right.
what she used to say to me. So that's what I applied to my life when I became aware and conscious of the things that I was doing. I chose to do it different.
Okay.
All right. Now that's that part. After commitment, after we've made a commitment, the next thing we have to do is make the greatest sacrifices of them all to solidify the commitment. See, we'll get with a woman, we dating you, we courting you, we fall in love with you, we like everything about it. But we're not going to sacrifice because right now we're in a good space. Everything good, there's no sacrifice need to be made, right? Right? Then trouble comes. And not necessarily trouble like it's a problem with the relationship. It could be a physical ailment. It could be additional kids being added to the home. It could be a number of things like your sister can pass. Now we got to take on those kids. It could be a number of things that happen. But you got to sacrifice whatever you thought was going on to make what you got work. See, we get with a woman and it's all good. She's single, got a good job, got a good house, living comfortable, ain't nobody in our way, no other relationships, no kids, no nothing. And then all of a sudden, tragedy hits. And now we have to adjust how we've been living. And now it ain't all good no more. So now, this is when the test starts.
Mhm.
Are you willing to sacrifice what you thought the next 6 months were going to be like to get you and that person over to that next obstacle? That's the sacrifice. And a sacrifice is another conscious decision. You got to choose to say, no matter what me and this woman about to go through, we
I'm
going
gonna
to do
be
it
right there
side
by
by
her
side.
agree.
Yeah.
I don't care how
real.
difficult it is. I don't care how many opinions everybody else got. That's not me because everybody else don't live in our house.
That's true.
Everybody else ain't buying our groceries. Everybody else ain't paying our bills.
I thought you were gonna say solidifying, meaning because you have a lot of men out here that are staying in relationships forever without solidifying it
Committing.
and
Mhm.
committing to a marriage
Mhm.
versus
What-
a
what-
checkup.
I
Wait,
thought he
listen,
was
wait,
gonna
wait,
say
wait.
that
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
Yeah.
That's fine. I just was saying.
Yeah. So marriage, relationship, same thing.
You
Yeah.
dug down deeper into what
Yeah.
commit is. 'Cause
Exactly,
You got
yeah.
men that do marry you, but they still are not committed to the marriage. Because
Well, that's true.
Yeah,
Ex-
so that's what he
I think
digging
people
deeper
don't
down.
really think about that. I think people don't really think about the whole for better or for worse situation. Is more so like they're thinking when they commit to an individual, they're thinking about the for better. Not really the for worse, the worse. You know,
Exactly.
and then when it hits them, it's like, oh shoot, do I really want to?
That's a person that's not ready for
Yeah.
marriage.
Not ready.
Yeah.
But the commitment isn't that marriage.
Yeah.
That's another mistake we make.
Yeah,
The commitment is doing
the
the
ma-
dating process.
The courting
You're right.
process.
Courting.
Because courting, yeah, it's different. Courting and dating, you're right. You made a good point last week about that, Sean. But courting, dating, because if you dating and it's multiple people, then you can't commit when you're dating multiple people. There's no commitment associated with the word multiple. Period. It's not gonna happen. So I'm trying to figure this out where you just remember you're a garden tool until you figure it out. You can call it what you want to call it. I'm calling it for what it is. That's what's happening. You bouncing around from spot to spot trying to figure it out. So accept that part. Now, I know a lot of people going to disagree, but you know,
They definitely gonna
when you drive a car, do the miles add up? Oh, okay. So now, long as you,
No.
yeah, that's my scenario. That's my.
I just got a question.
Okay,
okay.
It's okay. It's okay to have a question. It's okay.
Hey, I'm not angry. I'm conscious.
Yeah, I'm saying it's okay.
Yeah, bring it back around.
Go ahead.
Because you was doing good. You was talking commitment, and I recognize, I'm aware, and so I made a change. And it seemed like you were speaking on the lines of integrity. And then you slid down, and then you start talking about being a garden tool, and then you're saying that's okay.
No, I'm not saying it's okay.
Okay, well,
I'm saying
clear that
it's
up.
okay that you know that that's how the world perceives that.
Right.
Because when you date multiples, we all know sex is associated with dating. Some people are, oh, not me. Yeah, at some point it's gonna happen. So
Okay, I just
whatever it
clarify.
is,
Okay.
that's what it is. But I'm not saying it's okay to do it.
Okay.
I hate it. Like multiple dating, I hate it. I used to
You
do
hate
it. I used to do
That's
it.
not dating.
I used to do it, but I mean, based on the terminology, no, that's not a good way to create and build something solid. Multiple dating. So now, what happens is, once you understand that the commitment begins in the courting process, like when you designated at the courting process, that's where the commitment starts. If you're not committed while you're courting, that means you're bringing bad energy into what you're trying to build.
I agree with that.
Yeah, you got to be in
I
it
agree
100%.
You got to.
You
There's no
cannot.
way to be just all over the board that way.
Right.
You can't do it. It won't be successful. It just will not happen.
Right.
Now, once you get past that, I kind of want to go back to where you was at. It's patience, man. We want to stick everything in the microwave.
Somebody said
Nobody
that,
want to use the crock pot no more.
what did they say? Anything that's rushed isn't done.
It isn't. It isn't. Everybody want to stick everything in the microwave. We want the nice house last week.
Mm-hmm.
We want the beautiful family last month.
Mm-hmm.
We want the $100,000 job last year.
That's not realistic.
And this is what I'm saying, because no one is patient. No one is developed. Have you, and this is what I've done. I remember my partner, his dad used to say, listen, man, if you want a beautiful woman, when we was young, we was in high school, he said, get a skinny girl.
Yeah,
And
'cause
I
she
was
gonna-
like-
she gonna be right by the time she.
By
get-
the time you don't want
5:30.
two babies, well, that thing gonna be, oh my goodness. You get what I'm saying? But I didn't know that when I was young. I didn't know better. You know, he was an older cat. He used to always tell us, Big Mom, I used to always say that. Hey, man, if you want them right, you got to get them while they're skinny, because if they thick now, they going to be fat.
They're gonna be fat.
Them kids.
So you know what he was being to you in that moment? He was being a mentor.
I mean, well, that
In
was
that
some-
moment, he
in
was
that-
being a mentor.
Okay, as a kid, I could take that.
Okay.
At 47,
Okay.
I ain't no mentoring
Hey,
no
don't
more. of
stop.
that.
Okay, we'll
But-
get to that.
But what happens is we have to be patient. We have to understand that we're going to encounter some obstacles. We have to understand there's some things that we're going to have to overcome. There's some differences. You've been living your life the way you've been living your life your whole life. I've been living my life the way I've been living my life my whole life. Now we bringing these two lives together, and they have to intersect. And that takes patience. Because we could keep hitting the intersection, but we're hitting it at the wrong time. But for it to line up perfectly, we have to be patient. A lot of people don't want to be patient. They want
Expound on that,
everything
because you got
last
some
week.
woman that's
Yes,
being cheated
please.
on that think
Yes.
that patience means she's supposed to continue to endure that.
That's a different
And are you
conversation.
talking about like during the beginning, like of courting stage or dating stage? Like you have to be patient, like
From the
during-
beginning
Mhm.
to the end, you have to be patient.
Okay.
You have to be patient. So let me give you an example. There's some things I was going through in a relationship, and I'm very impatient. Like I'll try to be patient, but I'm really not patient. And I'm telling you that I'm patient, but I'm saying, boy, they better get it together. They don't know I'm be out the
Okay.
door. But
Okay.
I'm saying, no, I'm gonna work with you. I promise you. You get what I'm saying? But I'm not patient. But had I been patient, truly, sincerely patient with that person, there's no telling what we could have accomplished because of the position that they're in now, the position that I'm in now. And we talk about it from time to time. We just didn't have enough patience one another. We addressed the problems. We
No
discussed the
mentors.
problems. No, I just wasn't aware at the time.
No
But-
mentor.
But we we discovered the problems, we addressed the problems, but we weren't patient enough. And I say we because she wasn't as well, but we weren't patient enough to allow enough time to work through those problems. And now, because I'm aware of that, I'm a lot more patient. So I don't just say that I'm patient. I literally
You actually,
practice it.
yeah. Okay.
And that's what we have to do as men. We have to be patient because guess what? Just as well as we are broken, women got it way worse than us, man. I mean, that's man to man. They got, they go, listen, man, I've heard horror stories. I've seen it. I got scenarios. I've been in relationships and I've got a woman to go on the inside of their mind and they messed up. And it's our fault. And when I say it's our fault, it's the black male's fault. A lot of women are messed up because they didn't have a father in the home.
Mm-hmm.
They may have had a father that took care of them, tended to them, saw them on weekends, weekdays, picked them up from school. But when a father is not in the home, a woman is damaged.
Mm-hmm.
A woman is damaged.
I will agree that we
But-
do take it harder when we're broken. And I could be wrong, but I'm just saying, I think because we're so emotional, as they say we're emotional creatures, we're more emotional than men. But you don't
But you
think
got-
so? You think
But,
men
but
are more emotional?
she got a situation over here where she's talking about a serial cheater.
Hold on, we gonna get to that. Let me
Yeah.
finish this last point.
Somebody-
I got this
somebody-
last point.
somebody-
Who
Yeah.
got a serial cheater?
on the.
No, you said somebody.
Oh no! I was just asking him to elaborate because like I say all the time, there's always somebody that's listening that's using the information that we're saying to either
Mhm.
co-sign a good behavior or
Mhm.
co-sign a bad behavior.
Mhm.
And so when we say
Definitely not
be
co-sign.
patient, we have to kind of give some tangible examples.
Some
of what are we being
guidelines.
patient with? Are
Oh,
you being
okay.
patient?
So my
Patiently get yourself out of that situation.
no,
That's
that's particular situation. Yeah, that's different. But when I say,
But I mean, you might be saying patient. I mean, like
it
at
patient?
40 something years old, patient for a dude, that. No. what?
oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
just like the level of patience that I can have for a man at 20, I can't have at 43.
Exactly.
No, that's different.
So that's what I'm saying. So,
Yes.
but that's what I'm
That's
saying.
true.
You have people that are listening
Right.
that may need clarity.
Right.
They need
So let me
mentorship.
So let me clarify what I mean when I say patience. What I mean patience is once you first identify that you were broken, fix that. You've committed to someone, right?
Mhm.
Now, once you decide to commit, that's when the patience starts.
Patience for what though?
Patience for everything to develop the way that it needs to develop. Patience for our lives to entwine with one another.
Okay, I'm asking you for tangible,
I gotta give you-
possible.
Okay.
Yeah, because
okay.
you have some.
So let's just say I seen a post today. I think you follow Linda Love. She posted something today, and it read, "We have to celebrate our 9-to-5 brothers, brothers who work. May can't buy us the Gucci bag, may can't buy us the nice car, may can't put us in a big house, but they work their tails off trying to provide the best they can at that time. That's the person that you need, and that's a instance of having patience because we all know with hard work. Like I was talking to a girl today, one of my clients, and she worked at Publix, and I told her, don't give up. And she told me how her manager, who just retired, was working at Publix since 16. They're 54. They're retired as a store owner and a millionaire.
Mhm.
But
And that's patience.
Mhm.
but not
Yeah,
ev-
but that's a benefit. So
Yeah.
everybody's not in a situation that's going to, render them a benefit to the patient.
right.
Well,
And not everybody is looking for a big house, a Gucci bag, and all of that. Some just want their man to just be committed. Someone
Tell the
that's,
truth. Don't
yeah,
cheat.
well,
Basically, that's exactly
so
what I'm
that's
saying.
okay. I don't know if I'm saying it's good enough. So when I say patience, when you've
We
committed to
understand
someone,
what patience
Well,
is.
why do we
Yeah,
have to wait
well,
so long?
No,
for
listen,
that?
I'm not. No, when you've made the commitment, whatever position they in, we don't know. But when you decided to commit to someone,
Mhm.
whatever it is you expect out of the relationship, you have to be patient and allow it to develop. Whatever it is, that don't ask me
But-
what,
Yeah, I get
because I don't know what it
Actually,
is.
But
So,
I-
you say,
but
like,
I-
what is it? I don't know what.
but here's the
That's your
thing.
I
relationship.
mean, but
mean-
what I'm saying is, I'm sorry, Anitra.
No, go ahead. I'm just trying to figure out how long we gotta wait.
But not even how long, but what
What is-
situations are we being patient for? We
See,
being patient
Is
for
it
you to,
communication? Is
Listen.
it
increase your
is
earning
it
potential,
for
or
you
are
to-
we being
yeah,
patient,
right.
with your mental health
Right,
condition?
right.
Like, that's a really, really great
Yeah, because
area.
it depends.
Listen.
It really, really depends for some
Patience.
individuals.
Okay.
We understand
Treat-
what patience is.
treat.
We got that part.
Listen, I think y'all
They
Yeah,
want to know what
understand.
areas are you going to apply it to. That's
Understand.
the question.
What you're
can you
gonna
answer
do-
as a man?
what you're gonna do. Treat the other person like you want to be treated. If you don't want to be dogged out, don't dog the person out. Simple mathematics. What you want done to you, the same you do to somebody else. So if you're saying you got to have patience and tolerancy for someone else,
Yeah.
you yourself have to have patience and tolerancy. That's where the blending in the process of the relationship, the light speed of a relationship. There's no time limit on a relationship. The only time limit there is between you two people at your speed.
But
Y'all
here's the
keep
thing.
defining
I've seen
patience.
Here's
I've
the-
seen
we
women.
got-
wait
Can I
a
tell you
lot
something
of
about patience,
years.
please?
We know what
Here's
patience.
the thing for me with go ahead.
Okay, I think patience is all based on relationship. When you meet somebody, you know they goals. They know your goals.
Right.
So you put it on the table. Look, when I'm 35 years old, at 39, 40, this is what I would like. So you know from that day one what that female expect
Got it.
Right.
from then. So when 39 hit and let's say boss man over here didn't get it, now you gotta wonder if she gonna have patience for you to give her 3 more years.
Right.
So patience to me is based on relationships
It
because
is.
you may want me in a year, sis may want me to do it in 3 years. So once you establish who y'all are as one,
Right.
that's when you gonna understand what patience is.
Right.
Cause just cause it's
Right.
done in a week, don't mean that you ain't had no patience. That's when y'all decided
That's
Right.
y'all
Right.
gonna achieve y'all
I
goals.
agree.
Right. Yeah,
You got
Yeah,
what I was gonna say real
Yeah.
quick is that, especially at 40 something years old, when I commit, because not dating, when you said when we commit that we're gonna be one, then I'm expecting you to come to the table already ready because you already agreed.
Yeah.
Well, not necessarily. Oh, yeah, we agreed. Yeah, we agreed that we're gonna be together and that we're gonna become one. So I'm not looking for you to come in playing no games for me to have
Right.
patience on. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Now I can understand if you're looking to start a business in another year, like
Right.
Disco said, then yeah, I can have patience for that. But I'm not gonna come into a relationship where we both agreed that we're gonna be one, and now I got to put up with some mess, and then
I
I'm
agree.
saying I'm
Right.
going.
I agree.
Yeah, that's
I
yeah,
can't
yeah.
do that.
Nah,
Well,
Well,
that's-
you know
but
what?
that's what I'm asking.
You know what?
Yeah.
That's great. Because what happened is this is what happened just now. This go back. I think last week we said something about it. This is where men are from Mars, women are from Venus. Because we ask for patience, we understand in our head what we asking for, but they're saying, "What are you talking about?"
Right.
And it's
No,
not.
no,
No.
no, no.
Yes.
No, you telling me what I'm saying? That's
No.
not what I'm saying.
No. What
I'm asking you, which no, neither one of the guys still haven't did it. Everybody's defining patience. We understand what patience is. What I'm asking you is, can we give the listeners some tangible scenarios that they should be patient with? Like, it's some things that you don't need to be patient for.
Right.
You need to cut that relationship and move on.
down.
And then it is some things that, just say if you come into a situation and, a person may have, some communication issues
Mhm.
where, maybe previously they were abused or, whatever the case is, and they're having trouble with communication,
Mhm.
but they're showing the signs that they want to learn how to be a better communicator.
That's different.
Mhm.
Then that's,
Yeah,
I would
that's
say
different.
is something
Mhm.
to have
Right,
patience
right.
with.
Right.
But then there's some people that come in with a communication issue and they like, I ain't going to counseling. I ain't talking to your mama. I ain't talking to my mama. I ain't talking to him. I ain't talking to her. This how I am, and that's just what it is. I'm not having patience for that.
I don't know.
Okay, men are from Mars, women are from Venus. Because when we said it, we knew what we were saying. But I'm not saying you wrong. I'm saying that you needed more clarity. But as a man, we thought in our head, we thought that was defined.
This not about a man or woman. This is about
No,
us
you said men
defining-
talking to men, right?
right, but all men don't understand that.
Okay,
Some
did you
pe-
understand what I said when I said
No,
patient?
it was.
No,
little-
no,
Did
no.
you-
I knew what
I
you meant by
understood.
patience. No. I knew what you meant by having patience. But see, here's my problem because I've seen a lot of women getting played trying to have patience.
Bingo.
And they look up 5-10 years later and they still waiting on something that's
Right.
never gonna come.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
when you
Clap,
I
that's true.
needed some explanation on that as well. Because I'm a firm believer that you have to
Yes.
have a
Yes.
reasonable timeline
Yes.
on how long you can wait. Because a lot of times
true.
brothers play sisters with
Yeah.
this whole patient card.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. So I needed
Yeah.
some clarity
Come
on that as
on.
well.
Yeah.
Go ahead, brother.
Hey, Ace, is that do you make that equivalent to as growth with each other?
It's growth.
Do you consider
Is it?
growth as patience with each other?
Okay,
Because both y'all got to grow together.
great question. Great question. It depends on the intent. So the scenario she described is an honorable brother trying to do the right thing, but just hasn't figured it out yet.
Right.
But then you got brothers, they string sisters along,
Yeah.
giving them empty
Yeah.
promises. Just,
Speak
just
on
wait
it.
on it, sister. Just
Speak
wait
on
on
it.
it. It's coming, it's
You
coming,
ain't
it's
got
coming.
patience.
And they look up 5-10 years and they done invested time, money,
Yes.
effort, youth,
Invested.
and then they have nothing left. And he done went on
Yeah.
with somebody else because
Exactly.
his
Yeah.
intent from the beginning
Mhm.
was to play that sister. So
Yeah.
you got
Yes.
to have a benchmark.
Yes.
So once
Yeah.
we cross this
Yeah.
line, I'm out.
Yes, definitely.
So
Oh, yeah.
I was waiting on
Hallelujah.
that explanation.
Definitely.
Yes.
Me too. That,
Men are from Mars, women are from Venus.
No, 'cause he's a
God. That was some
and
real stuff
you
he said.
you hit the nail on the
Because
head.
women, men quick to say, "Oh, you ain't got no patience."
Right.
You-
And I'm saying that because I'm tired of picking up the broken pieces. I'm walking into these death traps thinking these women is whole and y'all done messed these women up for me. Yes, y'all done messed these women up for me. I'm tired of picking up the pieces.
Well,
And y'all brothers putting them back together. I'm tired of that. So yeah, I done ran into that a lot. I done heard that story way too many times.
Yes. Hallelujah. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
all good.
go ahead.
Okay, so here's we
Wrap it up.
as men, here's my thing. First of all,
It's your turn.
Guys, it's time.
yeah, go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
All right, so just tying in my loose ends in regards to that. Again, acceptance, understanding that we broke, making the commitment.
Mm.
Once we make that commitment, sacrificing to solidify the commitment, and it was just elaborated on patience. I was speaking on patience in reference from somebody that was conscious and aware, and patience being reasonable, not unreasonable. But great points were made at the table in regards to patience and defining patience. And I understand you did make a point. There are some people that, man, just be patient, bear with me, da da da, and they know they don't have good intention.
Yes.
So I can't say that doesn't exist,
Yes.
but the dynamic that just we like some of us said patience and kind of understood that position,
Mhm.
and the women were like, nah, be definitive. And that's what I'm saying. Like we speak in two different languages sometimes. Not a bad thing, a good thing, because it's
Mhm.
shows like this that bring out those points. Because now, if a woman hearing this and the guy saying be patient, she may define patience. What aspect do you want me to
Because
be
they're
patient?
normally the
So
victims.
that
So she-
helps. That helps.
They're
So
normally
see,
the
that
victims.
all comes with communication. If
Yeah.
we're not, like you said, we're not all talking the same language. Once you begin to know your partner, you form that language. She knows she's been sitting there 10 years without a ring. Who does that? Who does that?
That's true.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. Who does
The
that?
patient
Stringing
woman.
women along.
The
lot
patient
of
woman.
10 years
A lot of
without
people do it.
10 years
I know
without a ring.
personally
Yeah.
A lot of people.
I know.
But
20
see,
and 30.
here's the thing. But no, hold on. I want to respond to that. When you say 10 years without a ring, that's because we don't appreciate the level of depth a black woman can love.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, black women love to a fault,
Yes.
and it will cause them to stick around
Yes,
for
it
10
does.
years.
Yes.
Mhm.
and-
Without
or
a-
choose the wrong man over the right man, i.e.
Yes.
Jasmine Sullivan, I'm in love with another man. Go check the song out. It explains everything you need to know.
Mm.
Great song, by
listen
the
to
way.
that.
I love this.
But yeah, that's just they love like that.
Yeah.
We're the inheritance of the best women on the planet.
Hallelujah.
Unfortunately, we have been reckless with their love. What'd you say? The worst, the coward is awakening a woman's love and not with the intent of not doing anything with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that describes how we've been socializing with
Yes.
black women for the past couple of decades. So that's how
So
you get
with
those
that
10
being
years.
said, go ahead and take off.
Go ahead.
Okay, so
I wanna feel
okay,
it.
let's start from your premise because I agree with that. We're broken. Most of us are come out in pieces,
Mhm.
right? My issue is number one, we don't do the hard work, right, of getting ourselves to a place where we could offer ourselves, our women, and our community a better product. Because right now the reputation of the black man is not good.
Mhm.
It's not good professionally. It's not good socially.
Mhm.
It's not good in family. We just don't have, and I'm one of those people that hate to hear it because, I feel like me and the brothers that I hang with don't fit that description, but I have to think outside of my own box.
Mhm.
We collectively have earned that reputation. Now, we had some help, but we're going to get into that, further down the line, but we have to do the work, and we have to understand we can't do that by ourselves.
Mm.
We can't, because if it was that easy,
Mhm.
we wouldn't have this situation. This conversation wouldn't exist if every brother could get there by themselves. Now, I understand we got personal testimonies. I get that. But on average, most men need some type of help. Most of us need some therapy.
I agree with that.
We
I
need some
agree.
counseling
I
Mhm.
definitely
because
agree.
we can't figure this out by ourselves because it's just too much that has been done to us that we just don't understand.
That's true.
So we do need guidance, whether you want to call it a mentor, friends and family, whatever you need us, because you don't know everything. You don't have the experience, you don't have the wisdom.
Mhm.
And that's why you need somebody that can elevate you because you can't elevate yourself because you're limited in what you are experienced at and what you know.
Are you single?
That's because we have Clarissa saying say that, and then we have Love and Loyalty 68 saying facts.
Right.
That's
And
definitely
let me
And
give you the proof.
JoJo
You know
says-
you know a man is damaged and broken because his behavior more likely than not is counterproductive some kind of way.
Right.
Drugs, alcohol, smoking, hypersexual activity. That describes probably, like you said, we all went through that process, or we were there once upon a time. That proves, and you probably could have gotten out of there quicker had you allowed somebody to help you. Just being real. We stay broke longer than necessary because another thing black men is we're very arrogant and we do lead with the ego. Can't nobody tell me nothing.
and I was
I'm a man.
Yeah.
We don't want nobody telling us
Yes.
nothing. And so because of that, we detached ourselves because
Sound effect.
even if we the
I ain't no
same age,
pussy.
right.
I ain't no pussy ass nigga.
You got the button, you got the sensor
we
button.
need the sound effects around.
No,
here.
I don't agree with what you're saying, but go ahead.
Wait,
Oh,
what?
it's impossible because if you look at
I'm messing with you. I agree with everything you're saying, dog. I'm messing with you, dog.
because if you look, we can't even get along. I was listening to this information the other day, and I showed it to you where they was talking about the level of homicide that's still high when it comes to black men, because I know we don't like black on black crime, even though it's black people committing crimes against black people. But we still kill each other more, you know. Take every because one thing I don't like is when we start comparing our behavior to another people's behavior. That's irrelevant.
Right.
We taking care of home business. What
Right.
goes on in your house, I'm not judging my house by what goes on in your house. I'm
Right.
judging my house by the standards that I have.
Right.
So what goes on in your house is unnecessary. So while we still got that type of issue, that's psychological. We need help psychologically first. And then we could start talking about getting our principles and morals together, because the problem is we start taking women into our lives while we still broken, then we break them
Correct.
in the process. Now it's a
That's
domino
true.
effect. Now we got a bunch of angry women
Yes.
walking around because they gambled on a bunch of broken men who were too arrogant and egotistical to go get some help.
My God.
So what we do to get our energy and frustration out, we either take it out on another brother or sister. That's our therapy. We got to stop that.
Yes.
Or we stay there too long, and you got out of it,
Right.
but what about the trail of tears you left behind you
Right.
unnecessarily when all I had to do was get me some help and ask
My
somebody?
God.
And Mr. H, I want to just like stop you,
My
just to
God.
pause right there. What would you say to the average man out there that says, "Oh, I don't need somebody telling me what to do," or has that ego and they don't want to go and seek help, but they know that they need it.
That's a
At
great
least
question.
you can admit it first then.
Yeah, that's a great question, and this is the most difficult thing to do because we have been groomed to be angry. Unfortunately, women support that. If I'm a thug, man, I got me some women, bro. Especially they know I'm tough. I knocked some brothers upside the head, took his money. I got bread on top of it. I'm gonna get me some women. So they kind of help us stay there. But you gotta be humble and you gotta be submissive too. We talked about, you brought up the spiritual. Gotta be submissive to that spirit, man. What they talk about, whatever source you're connected to, you gotta be humble.
You gotta
You
gotta
gotta
get in that
submit.
connection.
You gotta submit. And then once you submit, then that allows you to be humble enough to allow yourself to be governed by somebody else's wisdom or influenced by somebody else's wisdom. Let me say it like that. Because if we're gonna say we grew up without fathers, which is what I heard you said, that's who's supposed to teach us manhood.
Right.
So if you remove that piece, what you gonna replace it with? Gotta replace it with something. Because getting it on your own, you're getting it the hard way, and you could get it the hard way, but it's gonna take you a lot longer, and you're gonna do a lot of unnecessary damage in the process.
Yeah.
Mainly to, like I said, some other brother or some other sister.
All right. First of all, the comment you made is that's me you talking about. I'm that cat. This disco, who and sis know I'm hard headed, who don't want to talk to another man about my person. I feel like as a man, you can't tell me how to be a man. Now, if you know me personally, this is me talking. If you know me personally, know the way I walked in my life or what I've been through, I'm cool with you. But if you an average cat that I don't know your problems outside of me,
Correct.
I can't respect you enough to sit down and listen to you. Now, OG, all day long.
I take that.
65 years old, 70 years old, who been through it. Like when her dad called, you see, I ain't say nothing the whole damn time. Because that's respect my elders. I know he been through it already. But a cat like us right here, no disrespect to y'all, if I didn't know who y'all was, you couldn't tell me nothing.
Yeah.
So
No, I
it ain't
understand.
so it ain't so much me not going to another brother. I gotta respect you enough at how you walk your life
I agree with
to
you.
listen to.
Wisdom.
No,
Yeah,
no,
that's wisdom.
no. That the respect, it had. That's a criteria. I ain't mad at you, because I got one homeboy. He's even a little bit younger than me, and he was better at relationships than I was. He had more patience, and he just did a better job at because he had been through marriage counseling, pre-marriage counseling, and I hadn't. So he got the wisdom from somebody else, and I got the wisdom he got from somebody else,
Right.
and it helped me. So after, let's just say, after we get ourselves together, we got to do a better job at choosing our women. We got to. We gotta rate. Listen, and trust me, don't nobody like the shape of a black woman more than I do. But that cannot be the top
only
priority,
thing.
the top criteria. What would you say? One man, one woman. Oh yeah, one woman, and we have to let women know, just like they raising the bar for us. We have
I
to
got
raise the bar for them. I'm not accepting no more friend requests with ass shots as the screensaver.
Sometimes
I'm deleting that.
anyway.
I'm deleting that.
Fake pages anyway.
Yeah, we have to stop that. We have to get the standard back. Like, we can't have women walking around us half naked, and then get mad when our daughters start doing it. When you chose, that's
So,
gonna
H,
set the example.
What advice would you give to a young man if he came to you and said he's getting ready to date a woman and he think he's in love? What advice would you give a young man like that?
What's the age range?
Let's say 22.
22. I would ask him what attracted him to her, and I would ask him, like, describe for me her life. What are her goals? If you have to know her goals, she has to have goals first and foremost. And what is she actively pursuing? Because if she's not actively pursuing anything, she's gonna be a burden to you. And 9 times out of 10, she's gonna be pregnant soon because
my
she ain't got nothing else going on.
Right.
So and then she's gonna have multiple kids. I think my mic. Hold on. Let me tag you in for a second, brother. You got your hand up.
All right, so consciousness. You said something that was real important about finding. What was it? Finding. You said something about being selective of the women that we choose, right?
Yes.
And this is just another example of being aware and being conscious. When my first child was born, my daughter, I was raising her. She was living with me, and I knew, my life was different. So, you good? Yeah. So my life was different, and I knew that I had I needed to set an example for my daughter, right? So I knew the women that I was dating, I liked them, but I ain't like them for a role model for my daughter. So I had a rule: if you was at the house and my daughter had to go to school, don't you open that door. You keep that door closed. Don't let my daughter see you. If one broke the rules, as soon as she did it, I come back, she helping her with her homework. She thought she was doing something good. That was the last time. Because I knew consciously that what I was interested in wasn't the example I needed set for my daughter. So again, it go back to, and I didn't have a father at that time to teach me that. That's something that I realized and knew that I had to make a better choice. So
Right,
you're
and
right,
that's
and I
good.
agree
That's
with
good.
you.
Yeah, we have to choose
Yeah, she ain't
better
got no business
women.
in your bed.
I was just
Because-
gonna say that, and you
Go
left
ahead.
her in the house.
Right.
But
Listen,
not-
you
not
missing the
even
point.
that.
That's not the point.
Hey,
All
he
off the
said
point.
that was before his
Y'all all off
process.
the
That was
point.
before
Okay,
his
that was
awareness.
before-
That was before his awareness.
Not even leaving her in the
I'm
house.
with you. I'm with you. That was
But-
before your awareness. I got you.
now.
That's all off the. Did
I
y'all
would-
get the point?
We got the point.
Okay, there you
But
go.
I have
Got your drift.
another call to action. I know this is the man talking to the man. However, I would like to see black men get to a point to where if she doesn't qualify to be your wife,
Or to be around
she
your
don't
kids.
qualify to be
Yeah,
in your
I was gonna
bed.
get to that. I was gonna get to
Yeah.
that
You
because
know, I
brothers,
would like to see black because
we
that's
got
how
too
we
many
end
horror
up,
stories.
yeah, with
we
these
got
children
way
from
too many
people
horror
Right.
stories.
that we don't want kids from.
Right.
You know that
Mhm.
we upset about
Mhm.
the issues and the value systems back and forth. Your value system is different from hers.
Right.
If she don't qualify to be your wife,
Wife.
you ain't got no business in the bed
Right.
with her.
Yeah, we
Just
have
like if I
we
could
have to
just say
stop.
this
Yeah, go
real
ahead,
quick,
go
and
ahead.
I know this is totally
No, go
off
ahead, go
topic
ahead.
for men, but just like one time, Carly was on the video, and her music is very provocative,
Vulgar.
and she turned it off when her daughter came in the room, and people were like, "Well, is it good enough for everybody else kids to hear, but it's not good enough for yours?"
Mhm.
And that just brought me to that point when
Yeah, we have to raise the bar because
Hold on, but let's discuss that. She made a valid point. I agree with it, but it ain't gonna happen.
Well, it's the only reason why it's not going to happen is because black men
we're not
are
raising the
not
bar,
at the place
and we don't
of
have that
wanting
level
to-
of discipline.
and accountability. That's what it is.
we don't have that
Because,
level of discipline.
listen,
So
Go ahead.
go ahead. Let me-
And another reason why it won't happen is because men will say that it's not going to happen.
No.
If there's a man that will raise the bar and hold his friends when his friends are telling him about this bad, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I ain't finna know.
Let me ask you a question.
Well, bro, why you dealing with
What
it?
do
Right.
we what do we do it for?
What do you mean?
why?
What do we
Tell us.
do it for?
Tell us
Everything that a man does, especially a black man, everything that he does is geared towards getting a woman. So
But see-
you
but see,
gotta
that's- but see,
understand.
that's the problem.
If they don't say, see, y'all set the standard.
Type of women to do what? I'm
Listen,
confused.
y'all set the standard. If y'all say it's not okay, they ain't gonna do it. See, that goes back to what he was saying
Okay,
earlier
now
about
see,
going
now-
to rob a bank and stuff of that nature. And as you were saying earlier about, okay, if the woman says that, all right, it's not good to hang your hand with your pants hanging low.
Then
How
he gonna
many-
make the correction.
He
Now,
gonna
let
make the
me- now
correction.
Let me challenge you on that because if you guys want to say that you want a leadership role,
I was about to
Mhm.
say
then
you
you
letting the
can't
women
pick and
lead. You
choose
letting the women
when
lead.
When-
that's convenient for
Right.
you. So if you're gonna lead, you got to lead all the way across the board because when
I
you get with that
agree.
woman and she's refusing to submit in certain areas because
Mhm.
you choose to
You open the
not
door for
lead
that.
in certain areas.
But see, what we're
It's on
talking,
you.
what we're talking about is society. You said black
We are
men
society.
cannot do it.
Oh,
no, I
hold
didn't
on.
say they can't.
Hold
I
on,
said
hold
they
on.
won't
But see,
because they
that's-
don't want to be accountable.
that's-
He said
They ain't gonna
can't.
do it.
But see, that,
No,
hold on,
I ain't
hold
gonna
on.
say can't. I said
Hold on,
they
hold on,
ain't
hold on, hold on.
gonna
Listen.
do it.
But this is what I mean
Why they
by
not gonna do it?
I know why.
no.
Well, I'ma let y'all-
No. This is
I-
what
I
I
got-
mean. This is what I mean by running your house based on how somebody else runs theirs.
Mm-hmm.
You can't. Your standard is your
Mhm.
standard. But see, here's the benefit of that. You're saying society, but you don't want all the women in society.
Mm-mm.
The one you want, the number of women you should be targeting to be your wife should be a small number.
Right.
Because if you look at society, like you reference, most of society is crazy and insane. Most of society is immoral. Most women in society, you don't want to be the mother of your daughter or your son. So I'm not targeting society with my standards. I'm targeting my standards, which is going to narrow the pool to that small percentage of women who ain't insane and who ain't crazy, I don't have to battle for head of household position.
Mm-hmm.
See, if you find yourself doing that, then it's because of your standards.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Your standards are leading you to that type of woman. My standards is not going to lead me to that type of woman. It used to,
Mm-hmm.
but when I matured, them women started dropping off because they didn't want to deal with me either.
Oh,
They didn't want to
again,
deal with me either.
Right there.
Go ahead.
Right there, at that point, right there. When you matured, but prior to maturity,
Mm-hmm.
before we mature, before we get to those levels, so let's play the scenario out.
Okay, no, let's
briefly.
get it. I know you're going. Let's get it. Let's get it.
Mandate woman.
Okay.
Woman is respectable.
Mhm.
Woman wants commitment. Woman wants us to earn the right. Woman has in place 30 to 90 day rule. Honorable, right? Man gotta have it. He gots to have it. But he know if he push it too much because of the 30, 90 or 90 day rule, that's gonna turn woman off. So what does man do?
Play the game.
No, have
I know what
discipline.
men
Yeah,
do.
I'm about to say,
no,
you
no,
have
no, no, no. I'm gonna tell you what's finna happen. I know what's in y'all head.
Go ahead.
I know what's in
I
y'all
wanna hear
head,
that.
but this is what's finna happen.
Go ahead.
Man gonna go over there
Thank you.
to Ugly Paula
Come on.
and get Ugly Paula
Exactly.
the business. You hear me?
Yep.
Right? And
Yep.
anything else
Yep.
that's easy to conquer
Mhm.
until woman decides 90-day rule
I'm glad
has
he
been
said that.
adhered to.
I'm glad he said
And
that.
then man will continue over here. But
I'm
man
glad
done
he
opened a
said that.
can of worms with Ugly Paula.
But we
Hold on, hold on,
so
hold
we,
on.
so we
Right.
but we've regressed back to a
Hold
broken
on, let
man.
me,
I said
Hold on.
before
It's
maturity.
definitely not right.
He said once he matured, and I'm saying prior to maturity, because I'm mature now,
Exactly.
I can be patient, right? Because I just talked about patience, right? So I can be patient, but prior to maturity, ain't no such thing.
Okay, we're talking post maturity. We're here now. Because we done already spent time on the brokenness, the glass, the duct tape. We done already spent time on that. We're talking about now that you've gotten yourself together, now you're qualified to pursue a woman. Because the problem is we be pursuing women before we're qualified to do so.
Or stabilized.
Same
Man, I disagree,
That was
man.
deep.
Listen,
Okay,
man.
finish.
That
Oh yeah,
was
you're
deep.
right. You're right.
Now I
you're right.
want to hear how you gonna
that
disagree
was
with that
deep.
when you
That
just got
was
through
deep.
describing how you done dish rag these women when you were in that state. How
So
you
let's-
gonna
let's-
disagree?
Let's make no. I want you to finish first.
No, okay,
Take away
because
from the point.
you I got
And
I
then,
want that
yeah.
contradiction because
Okay.
you gave us a nice little story, took notes on your legal pad, the whole nine, and now you
Legal
contradicting
pad.
yourself. So
Okay.
Don't burn in the
Wait,
night.
it might
Don't
be
burn in the
something-
night.
it might be something you say to change my mind. So go ahead.
okay, yeah, because we gotta stop breaking our women because at the end of the day, if we're gonna rise as a people, we can't do it without her and her.
Hallelujah.
We can't, and they're not gonna give us their best as long as they living in fear of what our next act is gonna be with Ugly Paula. They're not gonna give us their best, and if they give us their best and we give them our best, now you're talking about dynasties. Now you're talking about creating
Amazing.
dynasties,
It's
and that's what we missing as a people. That's where the distrust comes in.
Yes.
If you want to know why you're not getting the best out of your woman, is because she don't trust you. A woman is never gonna give you her all
Never.
if she doesn't feel psychologically safe, if she don't trust
Never.
you, if she don't believe that you're gonna take care of her in her darkest
Yes.
hour, she is not gonna give you her best. So if you're wondering why you're not, either A, you with the wrong woman, or two, you the wrong man.
Right.
Yeah.
One or the other. So we and then let me get to this last piece. And I want y'all sisters to really, brothers, we gotta start taking better care of our health.
Mm.
We do. We gotta start eating better. You ain't gotta be a vegetarian or a vegan, but make sure you detox 3 times a year, drink enough water, get you some exercise, stop eating fried food excessively, stop drinking and smoking. We die first. We die first, and we die the fastest. And the majority of it is self-inflicted or inflicted on us, like I said, by another black man. We gotta take care of our health. You know, we
Mental
gotta
health, too.
start living longer for our kids and our grandkids and our
Yes.
significant other.
Yes.
We got to do better with
Right.
that. So I just want us to just overall mind, body, and spirit be humble to information, even if it is from a peer, because like I said, I have a good friend. Matter of fact, I'm gonna shout him out. His name is Paul Edwards. Paul Edwards, I was the best man in his wedding. That is my dude. I have learned a lot from him, and he's a little younger than I am. But in a lot of areas, he's more stable than I am because he's had, and I don't have, and I tell him, I said, brother, I'm glad we met. I've grown from that because I didn't have patience with women, and he would always encourage me. That's why I say the right friend. He was the one that would give me the advice. Say, man, y'all need to talk. Hey, man, make sure you ask these questions because I didn't really ask about a woman's finances prior to, you know,
Right.
I didn't ask really. I mean, I asked about goals, but it was just certain things, specifics that I didn't wait to see how she would invest in me. Like I, you know, got from him. He said, hey, man, you doing all this. You need to make sure she doing some things for you too. You know, so my criteria started to change a little bit. But just overall, we need to just be a better product for ourselves, for our women, for our families, for our communities. And we need to, if you are in a position to do so, take at least one young man who is not related to you, take him up under your wing. If you have a son, your friend's son doesn't have a father. Hey, go pick, let's get Joey
And mental.
on our way to get our haircut. Hey, we going to the movies. Let's go get Joey. Tell Joey to come with us.
I think that's a
Joey,
great
Joey's
idea.
mom, just one young man. We all just took one young brother.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Give us a couple of years, this situation looked totally different.
Yeah,
I
that
agree
did.
with
I just want to put a plug in for the sisters.
Jojo. Said one of y'all owe him salmon.
You said what?
One of y'all owe him salmon.
Oh God. So I just want to say to the men, to just put that book to
So
kind
someone
of.
said they were proud of your growth, Mr. H.
Oh wow.
Oh, good look. Good
And that
look.
was Dante Bonner.
Dante, one time, Florida A&M University, highest of 7 Hills. What's up, Dante?
So I just want to kind of co-sign what you're saying as far as the women. And the Nation of Islam has a quote that says the nation can only rise as high as its woman. And so hopefully that will be some encouragement for the men in understanding that we are a major part to this thing. We are major. The right woman, the right women,
Right.
conscious women,
Right.
you know, that those women. So, you know, it's kind of sad that we have to continue to throw these disclaimers out there to say we're talking about this type of woman or
Woman,
this
right.
type of man. And, you know, maybe not in my lifetime, but I want us to, as a people, to get to a place to where, you know, we're all living by, you know, a standard
A
because
standard.
it's possible because our ancestors did it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's possible. And yeah, that's
Before we close
yeah.
out, I wanna retract on something that happened last week from women to women. But before I retract on that, I just want to give it up to Mr. H. Because that is definitely true. The point when you said that if your woman is not giving you your all, because that is so true. Because I've been there where I didn't trust him, I didn't believe in him, I had no faith in him at all, and of course he didn't get my all. He probably got 30% of
He
me
was missing out.
because of the fact that I didn't trust him or I didn't believe in him anymore. I lost faith, complete faith in him. And I know I should have walked away. But again, that goes back to my brokenness of staying too long. So I just wanted to give you up because that's real big. And I think
Oh, good look.
if you're not getting your woman's all, you need to really reevaluate yourself. Or like you said, you might be with the wrong person. But I'm definitely.
Oh, don't worry.
Shout
You-
out Kibo. Shout out Kibo.
200%.
Oh,
Now you get that once
200, and
once a week. Shout out
And
Kibo.
it's amazing when you're both on the same road, the direction. It's amazing.
So y'all
So-
don't have to work 10 years. Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
It ain't gonna take 10 years.
Having
So-
like
Married.
value systems helps
Yes.
out a lot on the
Yes,
front end.
it does. It
Yeah.
definitely does.
Trying to get someone and you're trying to change their value system or you're
Right.
conscious and they're
Right.
unconscious.
There it is right there.
Right.
Back and
That-
forth. And
yes.
That's
you
what
get
causes the
you need
conflict.
another level
Right.
of awareness
Right.
that is very exhausting.
Right.
You know, and you
Yeah.
spend a lot of time basically almost like trying to teach and raise
Right.
as opposed to build. When
Right.
you attach to the right person, you guys can almost be like off and running to the building process.
Hallelujah.
You know, when y'all
That's it.
value systems are matched up and y'all are both
I agree.
healed,
Mm-hmm.
sane,
Mm-hmm.
and ready.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Yes, it is. Yes,
what
it is.
the difference.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So just to retract real quick, I didn't want to leave this lingering because this was brought to my attention. Oh, you can't hear me? It was brought to my attention.
I can hear you.
You can
You
hear me?
good?
Okay. I don't
I'm
hear.
sorry. It was brought to my attention from last week. Something's wrong with your headset. Something was. Okay. Something was brought to my attention last week, and I don't want to leave my women hanging. So I definitely wanted to retract and just clarify some things that were said because I got really, really passionate, not angry. So my shirt's going to say, I'm not angry, I'm passionate.
That's right.
Right.
G-Spot merch.
Yeah, G-Spot
Right,
merch.
coming soon. Coming soon. But I just wanted to go back and tell my women that I was not trying to tell any woman that it's okay to run around from man to man. I just want to just clarify that. That is not the thing to do. And I do not, I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying that
Okay.
bang.
And I do not want any woman to take that and think that I was saying it was okay to run from man to man, because that's not okay. The ultimate goal is to find your king, somebody that's going to treat you the way you should be treated as a woman. So that's all
what's
I
up.
wanted
Big ups,
to
big
say.
ups, big ups.
That's it.
Amen.
I'm not angry. I'm passionate.
That's
okay,
right.
coming soon.
That's
Right. And let me just say this in closing. The one thing we have to do a better job at, like I said, as men, is we have to stop letting so many young men grow up without a male example. Like I really when I know I always go to the kids, and I'm not going to apologize for that anymore. I'm unapologetic about that because I want us to stop working backwards. I want us to stop not allowing the next generation to get to their 30s and 40s, and then we trying to correct the problem after that because we leaving them because the world is sending so many mixed messages at our kids right now. They got this foolishness now. It's no such thing really as a female, no such thing as a male. What is a man? What is a woman? Are you crazy? That's the message our kids are getting nowadays. And you got little girls now everybody looking up to Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion. Are you
Right.
kidding me? But it's our fault because there's an African proverb that says if the village elders don't intervene, then the village idiots will.
Wow.
And that's
like
what we
that.
see right now. We see the
like
village
that.
idiots raising the kids. But when we're not active, when we're on the sideline, we co-sign
Right.
our kids being left to the example of these idiots. And anybody who supports that foolishness, as if that's an example of healthy sexual expression for our women, that's some foolishness.
Especially when they don't
And
want
also,
their own
I want to say
kids.
throw something out there. I would challenge every man that's listening to volunteer, coach football, coach baseball.
I'll
Coach,
take that.
Find
Definitely.
volunteer at least 1 year to giving back to these kids.
Coaching
It's
is
the
awesome.
best feeling in the world.
It is. It is.
I swear to
Coaching
God.
is
I can
awesome.
believe
I don't care if it's baseball, soccer, lacrosse, swimming. Just find a time to coach at least 1 year of your life some kids.
Matter of fact, I got you on some help on that, brother.
That's
I
right.
don't know nothing about
You
football
good?
now, but
You good?
I
Just don't
stack
got
the
that strong.
cone.
Don't do all the big words though. They don't know about
Yeah,
that. Can't cook for them either. You sit there in the sense.
I got you. Whatever you need, let me know.
Well,
I need a 6U team. Got a little one coming up here.
Hey, well, I don't coach, but I'm not good to that because I'm like Kirk Franklin. I smack him up.
We got a band out
Do
there.
you want to
But-
be a mentor?
No, I do.
He missed
I do.
it. He missed
I got a
it.
what?
You ain't gonna
They
do
got a
shout
band out
out.
there.
Man, yeah. Well, oh, yeah. I
You gotta
forgot.
do shout out now.
Hold on, man. Don't act like
Here you
we
go.
Put that jack with the camera at, man. Which way
Come
to go?
on.
Right there.
Oh, right there.
Right there. That's it.
Y'all
And we-
see that, right?
That's right.
Yeah, go right there.
That's right.
I know what it is.
Come on.
But no,
Man.
once a month I do feed the homeless. So I've been like, I take clothes and we surprise kids out there that living with those
I used to do
people.
that.
that's a
So
lot.
I have a pickup truck. I'll come by. If any of you listening and you want to donate, you know somebody on the show, get the stuff to them. Once a month, we try to give them clothes. And I don't follow religious people, but I do like what Pastor Bryant doing. Every week they give those boxes of food to the less fortunate, and we go by, we get a couple boxes of that stuff, and we take them out there. And sometimes if we have money, we prepare some dishes at home because some of the stuff they can't cook, it's
Right,
perishable.
right,
So we cook it, box it, take it out to them, pass out the clothes. And this is one thing that a lot of people don't understand. The items that the homeless want the most, and I know this is gonna be hard for people to get it.
They say
and
socks.
underwear.
Yeah, they say
Socks and
socks.
underwear.
Yeah.
So even if it's used, to us, you know, it's like, nah, I'm not gonna wear that. But to a person that don't have a choice, they want socks and underwear.
We automatically assume that they need
Yeah.
food, but
Yes.
food is actually the least of what they need.
Oh.
Yeah,
Because
socks
people are
and underwear.
always feeding them. They do need toiletries.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
In the wintertime,
you.
coats,
Once a month.
blankets.
Yes.
And
I definitely
clothes.
have a
And-
lot of
and
underwear, but I didn't
underwear,
think people would want that. So
women need feminine hygiene products, that type of thing. So
Mhm.
the first, when I did
Mhm.
it for many years ago, when I first started doing it, we just used to take them food,
Mhm.
and then as the time went past, we would always hear them say, y'all got some jackets, y'all got clothes,
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, and diapers. That's another thing because
Yes.
there are a lot of kids.
Kids.
Yeah, they
They're living on the
are. I
street.
didn't realize.
Yeah,
Wow.
diapers and wipes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
once, if you're listening, if you know anybody associated with me, get the clothes or the items that you could donate. Not this weekend, not next weekend, but the following weekend, we want to go back with as many items as possible. And we don't just go give it to the station and let them pay. No,
Give it
I
to
don't
the
believe in that
individual.
because they appropriate it. No, we give it to the individuals
Right.
that we see needed the most,
Right.
and we put it in their hands.
Right. I got a
So,
garage
yes.
full of stuff.
Me
So
too.
the last one we were
It'll
supposed
help
to
me
do,
out.
I can't remember what happened, but I still have everything that I gathered.
Perfect.
From maybe about December, so it's a lot of coats and stuff. May not be. I don't know if you want to take it now or maybe later in the year.
No, just take it now.
But,
That's yeah.
Yeah.
Check it out. They'll keep
Yeah,
it.
So,
They cherish that stuff, man.
yeah, they're really
They
grateful
really cherish
people.
that stuff.
They're
I
really
have some
grateful
bags
people.
for you too
Yes.
in my garage, so
All
I've
right.
been meaning to donate. So I definitely can have those.
Perfect.
Well, for the ladies, I'm gonna just put this plug out there. If we want to get together, we had this really cool thing that we used to do. It's like the ladies would bring, we always got these extra purses that we don't wear anymore. So we just get a purse and then put the feminine hygiene products and
Oh,
stuff
that's
in it, and then
awesome.
give a sister a purse.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
That's
definitely
nice.
got a
Get
lot of
together and do
unused
that.
purses.
Yeah, exactly.
I
I got
got-
tubs of
yeah.
them. So,
So that's
yeah,
nice.
so we could do that. For the
Okay,
ladies.
we can definitely get
Yeah,
together.
Absolutely.
All
I
right.
think that's awesome.
Well, that was
That's all
a
right.
awesome show. We want to thank the guys for
Nobody fell asleep.
Nobody fell asleep. It was
And
definitely
some people ate
interesting.
a lot.
You almost said.
yeah. So we thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of the G Spot. Next week we will come back. Hopefully nothing else will be added. And we can go ahead and dive into the solutions of some of the problems. And we've kind of talked about some, solutions, but hopefully we can all agree on some healthy solutions, and not such debatable solutions, for next week. So next week, part 8. It's been 8 weeks, guys.
Wow, it don't seem like it's been that
been
long.
8 weeks.
Wow.
Part 8. The solutions of rebuilding Black relationships, which ultimately rebuilds Black community. It's all of our responsibility. Your children are my responsibility. My children are your responsibility. Your marriage is my responsibility.
Yes.
My marriage is your responsibility.
Yes.
So if I call you, I need some healthy information and
Right.
advice. And don't tell me to leave my man if he ain't beating me and
Right.
dragging me down the road.
Right. I never tell
Okay.
my.
What's my
Never.
man on Color Purple? What Danny Glover name was on Color Purple?
Mister.
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 I'm gonna be Mister. Hobbo, be the Hobbo.
You know,
Go down there and be the Hobbo.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in with us again. Please join us on our Facebook page, The G Spot, and on DISCO100 Radio on YouTube. Hopefully, everybody is already there. If you haven't, please subscribe.
Yes.
We're trying to blow this channel up. Have a good night, guys.
Have a good night.
Night.
Nighty night night.